Here we see Brian Barnett, an Uppie men's bar winner of 1968, patiently waiting on the steps of the old kirk for the 1 o'clock throw-up.
After approximately 10 minutes of play against the Kirkwall, the Doonies push forward on the Uppie side, only to leave the bar behind, and the Uppies pick it up and make it as far as the Royal Bank. After some 15 minutes of frantic play on the ground, the Uppies managed to gain the bar and it was driven to the mouth of Victoria Street. From here, the Doonies made a concerted effort to stop the progress, and it was brought to a halt opposite the Victoria Hall for some 3 hours.
With additional Uppie support added to the weight of the scrum, the bar was eventually moved, albeit with several stops along the way through Victoria Street and onto Main Street, and shortly after 5 o'clock the static Uppie pack reached their goal at the long corner.
With the usual scrummage at the wall, the eventual winner was Evan Monkman, a very popular winner between Uppies and Doonies. Fired up by their Christmas Day victory, the Uppies were out in force despite the atrocious weather conditions. The honour of throwing up the bar went to John Robertson, a bar winner himself in 1966.
After an hour of hard play on both sides, the Doonies were thinking their luck was in for the day. They had reached the TSB when, unsmuggled by the Uppies, drew the pack back to George Bain, the painters. From here, the bar broke from the pack and was hurled into the air, narrowly missing one car that shot into Victoria Street, and a second car that escaped down Tankerless Lane to avoid the pursuing bar players.
Once the bar entered Victoria Street, the Uppies decided that they would not use the traditional method of carrying it, but they kicked the bar along the street as far as the clay lawn. Here the Doonies made a spirited fight to stop the bar progressing further, but the weight of the Uppies steadily and surely progressed the bar to the corner.
With the light fading at 3:25 and after a 10-minute struggle at the corner, George Currie was hoisted from the pack and declared the winner of the New Year's Day Bar, 1991.
Come and see this now. This is for part of history.
Yes,
Hold that there.
yes, you hold on to that.
On the rocky side to go.
Hey, there you go.
Uppies bar.
Hey.
That's fine. Come this way. Come there.
Billy Johnston won his men's bar on Christmas Day 1965, but today, accompanied by some members of the bar committee, he is awaiting the 1 o'clock throw-up of the men's bar Christmas Day 1991.
No, unfortunately.
Did you get the bar?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I'm filming, so...
Just saw it, it's been snuggled. That's the first time I've seen it.
I know, it's good when you see it, isn't it?
First time I've seen good breakaways, yeah.
Come on, Uppies!
After some concerted play by both sides, and some 4 hours later, the bar managed to reach the Clydesdale bank. it was slowly but surely forced back towards Victoria Street. With darkness falling, a melee ensued and the bar broke from Broad Street into Victoria Street. From there, with confusion reigning, many players remained on Broad Street, whilst a small group of players played the bar through Victoria Street and down the lanes across to the Safeway car park. Thereafter, the players gathered together and the bar was taken to the corner, where Leslie Manson was declared the winner. Lenny Linklater, a much respected bar maker, is ready to throw up the Christmas Day Men's Bar 1992.
With 5 victories under their belt, the Uppie pack were determined not to delay too long on the Broad Street, and by concerted pressure by the Uppies, Spence's paper shop was reached by 2:25 p.m.
With the spectators taken unaware, a small knot of players burst from the park into Victoria Street. Frantic efforts by the Doonies to halt the progress saw the bar collapse on numerous occasions, the whole length of Victoria Street.
He's got past the set, but the belt bar. It's right around.
At 3:15 p.m, the bar emerged out of Victoria Street and surged across the clay lawn. Despite desperate efforts by the Doonies to halt the progress, the Uppie goal was soon reached shortly before 4 p.m.
With a large crowd gathered at the corner, and the prize for all to see, the Uppies celebrated their victory. Alan Craigie was declared the winner of the 1992 Christmas Day Men's Bar, making it the 6th victory in a row for the Up the Gates.
The 1993 New Year's Day Men's Bar was thrown up by Dooney Andy Rendell. Andy won the Men's Bar on New Year's Day 1969. This was a particular honour as he was awarded the bar in his absence, having been unable to play the game because of a serious injury he had sustained on the previous Christmas Day. This game was very even for the first half hour. Then, after 40 minutes play, the pack moved into Post Office Lane. The game eventually burst into Junction Road just after 2 o'clock. After a spell of keenly contested play, the game was pushed into the lane between the mart and the police hostel. Suddenly, the players burst out of the lane, most of them running towards the harbour. The bar had apparently been plucked from the scrum, thrown to a Doonie on the mart roof, who quickly headed over the roof to the back of the mart. As he landed on the Great Western Road side, he was met by 2 Uppies, and before long, the scrum had reformed.
It all depends on who's got control of the court.
After a spell of play on Great Western Road, the game arrived in front of Rainbow Taxi's office. At this stage, almost 3 hours into the game, an Uppie emerged from the back of the scrum with the bar. He was quickly guarded by other Uppies and made his way into West Castle Street. The bar was then passed to one of the other Uppies, who broke clear and got as far as the British Legion, before passing it to yet another Uppie. This second runner made it as far as the foot of clay lawn before he was challenged by a Dooney spectator. The bar rolled free, but was soon picked up by the chasing players, and the scrum reformed. The pack then gradually moved across to Matches Square, where it eventually broke up. Play progressed to the back of the Phoenix Cinema before being pushed across the fields to the top of High Street, emerging just after 5 o'clock. 40 minutes later, the scrum arrived at the corner, securing the Uppies their 7th consecutive men's victory and maintaining their 100% success rate for the 90s. After a fairly short debate, Jim Linklater was hoisted aloft and declared the winner. Somewhat appropriate, as his place of employment, the Mart, had been the place where the outcome of this game had been so dramatically affected.
It was a long, hard tussle, big crowd, big scrum of boys. Must have been, I don't know, 250, 300 boys I would think the other day. Doonies played well, they had a good strong side today, but at the end of the day the Uppies just had the upper hand, and we maybe had a wee bit of luck to end up with, which you need to win anything, and I'm absolutely delighted to be the proud owner of the 1993 New Year's Day bar.
The Christmas Day Men's Bar 1993 was thrown up by Uppie Freddie Rory. Freddie won the Boys Bar on New Year's Day 1952 and the Men's Bar 20 years later on New Year's Day 1972.
Yeah, with lots.
After early Dooney pressure, the bar split into two parts, one heading towards the lane at the Longship, the other smaller group remained at the Kirk Green wall. Players soon realised that the bar was at the mouth of the lane and hurried to rejoin the scrum.
The pressure began to tell, with the players closest to the Kirk Green wall collapsing. At this point, a keen Uppie supporter spotted the bar and shouted advice to his teammates. The Uppies were quick to respond.
Can he? A lot of them doing boys, just fucking chuckling them.
Snow on the ground was making the underfoot conditions very slidey and dangerous for the players. Play was now hard as the Doonies side put pressure on the Uppie core, eventually gaining ground, firstly forcing play towards the tourist office before hauling the pack back across to the TSB.
The Doonies continued to progress and paid no heed to the no entry signs as they forced the game into the mouth of Albert Street just before 3 o'clock.
Steam billowed out from the centre of the scrum as play moved on down past the big tree. An Uppie hole in the lane at the laundrette held up the Doonies for almost 90 minutes. When play came out, it was fierce, even returning up street as far as the big tree. The staunch Uppie resistance was eventually broken and the pack moved on down the street.
Keep bringing on, put them back! Not too fast, Denise. Let's get ball over there. Watch this ball, boys. Let's get ball.
At 5:15, the game progressed through the narrows at Donaldson's butcher shop. The pack then moved into Mount Hooley Lane at 5:45, gradually progressing to rest for a short spell at Matchmakers. It then moved along to the Pet Mania car park, and at this point an Uppie broke loose but slipped on the ice outside the public toilets.
A Dooney break in the confusion took play almost to the Kiln corner. Broken play around the Kiln corner saw the bar thrown into the air on at least 2 occasions before the Doonies eventually regained possession.
Then finally, and almost inevitably, 5 3/4 hours after the start of this Christmas Day tussle, the bar was tossed into the harbour, securing the Doonies their first win for the 1990s. John Stephen was first into the water to claim the bar, and was quickly acclaimed the winner. After the event, John chats with the bar maker, George Drever.
We have a bit of seaweed in, I think. Aye, that's dead right. Yes. We need a bit of seaweed. Everything compressed, okay. Yeah. That's good. This is my boys' bar, which I won in 1974. In fact, it'll be 20 years to New Year's Day, and since I won it. And this one was made by Gary Gibson, and it was thrown up by a Mrs. Ann Park. She donated and threw it up. And it was a Dooney winner's wheel, obviously, 1974. She was in the water for a long time, this one. It's a big fight for this one. Which is, thankfully, I won that one too.
The 1994 New Year's Day bar was thrown up by Uppie Alan Monkman. Alan is one of the privileged double bar winners. He won a boys' bar on Christmas Day 1953 and a men's bar on New Year's Day 1971.
About 5 minutes after the start, a small group of Doonies peeled off, heading down the street. The main scrum was slow to react, and another break saw a Doonie head towards Albert Street. However, he was soon stopped near the tourist office.
The scrum progressed to the bottom of the Strine, where it was jammed into a corner at the phone boxes, before passing into the mouth of Albert Street just after 1:15 p.m.
I reckon you might have good beneath it.
The game had moved slowly down the street with a few holes until Uppies managed to manoeuvre the pack into the corner at the Thistle TV. The time was 2:10.
It stuck here for almost 2 hours. An Uppie dummy run then distracted players, while another group of Uppies moved the bar across the street and up the lane at Fubister's shop. The bar was then run up King Street, through Copeland's Lane, across Palace Road into Brandyquay Park, onto Brandyquay Place and across Clay Lawn, finally emerging at the corner of Manse Road. Here it was intercepted by a Doonie. The bar rolled free and was handled by several players before the scrum reformed at the Catholic Church.
The bar was then thrown from the pack to the Uppie goal for a decisive win by the Uppies. set of 90's. After a spirited debate, Vinnie Thompson was awarded the bar. This was the second bar to be taken to South Anglesey, Alan Craigie having been awarded the bar on Christmas Day 1993.
I would say that when it slowly sunk in that I had won the bar was that we came away from Kirkwall with Sale and Alan Craigie, and the road conditions were really bad, and we were driving about 25 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, and he said something like, "Ben, we've both won a bar now," and I says, "Yeah," and I really couldn't still believe it, and it was super because we both realised we both had won a bar now, and both of us had no intentions ever to give up. And when I came back into the house here, there was just three wee small happy faces looking at me, and they were just equally delighted, and my oldest boy, who is desperate to play, and I said, "Oh yes, you can play next year," because he's desperate to play. And when Lila, my wife, went over to her mother's with the youngest boy to show Granny the bar, and he turned to Lila and says, "When Daddy's not here, does that mean I get to keep his bar?" I think it highly amused her.
Russell Groundwater from Tower Hill in Sadola, in his day a strong Uppie player, is patiently waiting for the arrival of the participants for the Christmas Day Bar 1994.
I feel really sorry for you. Doonies back! You're going to
I thought those were the Uppies. Jesus.
With the last bar having gone up, the Doonies were determined to reverse the assault, and a large pack approached from Albert Street in readiness for the throw-up.
Where's my old Where's that man? Where's the old man at, Kev?
Where's your daddy?
Where's your daddy?
With the usual skirmishes after the throw-up, it was not long before the Doonies gained control and soon had the bar at the TSB bank.
A determined effort by the Uppies to stop the progress of the bar into Albert Street saw them force the bar into the lane between the TSB and Ridgeway Travel, where it stayed for approximately half an hour before entering Albert Street.
With the Doonies having made steady progress down Albert Street, the Uppies were determined to stop the momentum and succeeded in lodging the bar in the courtyard opposite the DE shoe shop. From here, the bar was flung over the walls and roofs and onto the car park at the back of the laundrama. From there, once the park had reformed, the Doonies were in Junction Road and heading towards the Harbour.
With the scrum against John T. Miller's cycle shop and a huge crowd surrounding the players, the game was played quickly and fiercely towards the Harbour. With the scrum wedged against the railings, the bar soon became visible and entered the water along with players who intended to lay claim to the trophy.
After a brief debate on the Harbour Street, Stuart Leslie was awarded the 1994 Christmas Day Men's Bar. A very wintry scene on the Broad Street awaits the Uppies and Doonies for the Christmas Day Bar 1995. Jim Leonard, an Uppie winner of the Boys Bar in 1954 and a Men's Bar in 1972, awaits the 1 o'clock chime from the cathedral.
On the wall! No, they gave a lot of Yes. I'm not. I was just thinking I went up the road because I'm too old. Fuck it.
Oh, you're admitting it now?
Never admit to that. Never says you're too old to run in this.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, the Doonies! Send this to the horse show. Run, boys!
Go in the lane.
Come on, boys, let's get scrapping!
After some frantic play on the broad street, with the game very open, the Doonies reached Tourist Board Car Park at approximately 2:25. From here, the Uppies break up into the Kirk Green, where the scrum reforms and the players emerge onto the broad street, down the Kirk steps.
Come on, no boys, I'm out way to the wall. Come on, Doonies! Let's see him here, Doonies, come on!
Come on, Doonies. Stand there, Uppies. Uppie, keep on. Come on. Stop, man. Come on. Come on, Todd.
Monkey.
Hey, come on, let's jump it back from the ladies.
Watch out.
At about 4 o'clock, here we see confusion both in the players and the spectators. The bar has actually been smuggled over the roof of the cavern into the garden behind Chain W. Tate's. For approximately half an hour the bar remained in the lane, but then movement brought her out towards Junction Road, and just on 4:40 p.m. the body of men slid en masse across the icy covered road.
With steady and relentless pressure, the Doonies edged ever closer to the harbour. A large congregation of spectators had gathered to witness the end of the bar. At approximately 10 to 6, the bar came across from the gunwale and headed down the Corn Slit, but confusion reigned until the bar was finally immersed in the Basin.
Come on, get them out! Stand back, the boys, let them go. Get them up. Get them out! Stay up, you get, boys! Get in there! Come on, boys, play back, lift! Come on. Oh yeah, really funny again.
A new vantage point had been created by the installation of a pontoon by the Harbour Authority for visiting cruise liners. As more and more bar players gained access to the pontoon, disaster struck as the mooring chain snapped and the structure collapsed into the basin, throwing the bar players into the water.
exciting.
Mercifully, no one was injured. Subdued players, realising how lucky they had been, climbed up the metal rungs onto the Harbour Street.
I think they're still fighting somewhere. They're still fighting down there.
After ensuring that everybody was safe, the pack reformed and eventually the player to emerge as the worthy winner was Paul Miller.
The 1996 New Year's Day men's bar was to be thrown up by Brian Smith. Brian was the Dooney winner on New Year's Day 1973.
On the stroke of 1 o'clock, the bar is thrown into the middle of the waiting group of players, who crash up against the Kirkwall. The game is underway.
At this stage there was some doubt. Was the bar on the pavement or was it lying on the edge of the Kirk Green?
I think it's on the Kirk Green.
It was up on the Kirk Green, but soon dropped back onto Broad Street.
A short-lived Dooney move is split by the Uppies, and the pack swings upwards towards the town hall. Uppie, James Linklater, takes the bar up onto the Kirk green.
The Uppies were determined to make the most of the advantage they had gained. They tried to push the scrum across the slope at the bottom of Palace Road. However, the slippery road conditions and the Dooney white proved far too much for them.
A sudden break by the Doonies sees Al Watson, James McConaughey run clear, and play was suddenly transferred to the big tree where, luckily for the Uppies, Mark Kemp halted the break.
Kirkwall chasing that guy that had the bar there. Oh, right, was it heading off down there? Kirkwall was right.
Dooney! Come on! No, I'm a Dooney! Come on, Dooney! Come on! I'm all about
Push them up, boys.
Oh, come on, Doonies!
At Groundwater Shot, a brave or foolhardy Uppie goes in over the top in a vain attempt to break up the Dooney control.
Bizarre, yeah. Wow, this is a good one, this is a good one.
The narrow lane at Hoostens is the next stop for the Doonies. Again, this proves to be a stumbling block. Play was to continue in this area for almost 3 hours.
An Uppie player appears to be seriously injured at this stage, and medical help is summoned. They decide he should go to hospital, and once again it was great to see that players from both sides helped to get him to the vehicle.
I'll never get the guy in.
I'm glad to say he made a full recovery after a few days.
Almost gone, no boys.
After almost 3 hours in the lane, the Uppies pulled the bar out and made a gallant effort to gain ground back up street as far as the dry cleaners. But the Doonies soon rallied and the scrum was soon back past Houston's just after 5:30. The Uppies had another good effort at the top of Mount Hooley Lane. James Linklater broke free with the bar and headed towards the back road. He made valuable ground but was eventually stopped by some Doonies including John Thompson. The scrum then took up position at Lermans.
Play raged around the Kill Corner area for almost an hour before the Doonies finally regained control and moved towards the harbour. Rumbling across Harbour Street, the mast is brought to a halt by the pier railings. After a brief halt, the bar is hauled up and tossed well out into the Basin. The time is 6:40 p.m. Davy Miller was the first into the water and swims back with the bar towards the West Pier corner. There was then the usual short discussion between several contenders before Jack Leslie was raised up and acknowledged as the winner of the New Year's Day bar.